1926.
My name is Sue Thomas Hooks. My birthday is August 16th, 1930. And I am Nancy Thomas Short. January the 30th, 1933.
And Mother's birthday was July the 31st, 1906.
But you forgot to ask the question, Lynn.
Oh, it's okay.
Marissa's the question person.
Tell us your mother and father's birthday.
No, the one who was born, Lynn asked the question. Who was born first? And I had an answer.
Excuse
And that
me.
was Daddy, he was born first
Okay.
in this family.
And who is your daddy?
And he was James Thomas. And he was born May the 26th in 1902. Now, do you know who your mother is, Sue?
Yes, I do. I think I remember.
Her name was Annie Louise Stillwell Thomas. Her birthday was July the 31st of 1906.
Right.
Where did they live, Peggy?
Where did they live? They built a little house on Alexander Street, 1124 North Alexander Street. And it was a darling little house, and it was brand new when I was born,
So you were born on Alexander Street.
as far as I know.
Okay.
So who was the firstborn?
Keep calling you.
And you were the firstborn.
Were you
I was the firstborn, yeah, I'm the oldest one. So,
What's your
We-
birthday? There was one before.
my birthday is September the 11th, 1926.
Wasn't there one
No, yeah, a boy. There was a boy before me, Louis Thomas, but I don't know his birthday.
That's okay.
Okay.
And you left out some of your names, by the way, Ms. Cromer. Peggy, Thomas.
Cheryl Stevens.
Oh,
Cromer.
my
Maybe you better tell us your story, Peggy.
What, darling?
Maybe you better tell us your story.
My story.
No, we gotta talk about childhood.
Oh, excuse me. Go back to your childhood.
Back to my childhood.
So you
Okay.
live- How long did you live on that?
Daddy was a fireman, and he was a fireman at Fire Station number 3 on Belmont Avenue. And we were so proud of our daddy. Every time we could hear the fire engine start up, way up the hill, and we'd all run to the corner. Well, that was when we were all grown. That
It's on
was not.
Central Avenue.
Right now, she's an only child, and she's running up the hill with all of us. Oops.
Okay.
Well, so who was born after you, Peggy?
Joyce.
And Joyce is not here, so somebody represent Joyce.
Well, she's still telling Joyce.
Go ahead, tell us
Okay,
about Joyce.
Joyce came along in 2 years, and we were thrilled. Me and Mom and Daddy were thrilled to death. And so Mama called Dr. Gallen. Dr. Gallen always came to our house when a baby was due. So here come Dr. Gallen with his little black suitcase, driving up to our house and coming in. And I think they let me go to a neighbor's house and stay while Dr. Gallant was there. And so Ellen Joyce Thomas
That's all it is.
McCorkle
Yeah.
was born then. A beautiful little blonde baby girl.
Hey, was she born, Mom?
She was born July the 7th, 1928.
That's right.
Okay, and then along came.
Sue.
This one came.
There, that thing over
Yeah.
there.
Sue.
Peggy left one of Joyce's names out. Her
At that
first
point, Joyce
marriage.
was only Thomas.
What?
We're still on Alexander Street. She, nobody but Thomas on Alexander Street.
We gonna come back for the marriages.
You're just now getting born. So
Oh, I
she did
just
not
now.
have no more than one name.
You're just now born.
No, but we were
Oh.
talking about it.
Well,
I'm not even born yet. Joyce has got to be named.
she gave her names.
No,
She left out LaFoy. That's George's.
Well, she was just born,
That's
that was
Joyce.
my fault.
Ellen Joyce Thomas.
That's all she is, Ellen Joyce.
Okay, so Sue, tell us about your birth, what you remember.
Corporal too.
Sue Alice.
Let's talk about Sue.
Sue Alice.
Sue Alice Thomas was born August 16th, 1930.
Okay.
I was the fourth child.
Did Dr. Gallant come with the bag again?
Yes. Dr. Gallant.
Always
Came
did
again.
that.
Brought the baby.
He
Yes.
always did that.
Yeah.
Where did y'all go while Sue was
And
being-
then,
Got
2 years
Across
later,
the street to Mr. Tucker's house.
2 years later, I was 2 years old, and Dr. Gallant came up in that big car again, got out that blue black suitcase, and Daddy says, "I wonder if he's got a baby there." And I said,
Oh, we got
"Oh,
some.
I'm gonna name her, if it's a girl, I'm gonna name her Nancy." And sure enough, that's what happened.
That's what happened. Really? Yeah, she named me.
Did you? Oh, that's good.
Yes,
I
she
was
did.
so cute. But all of them, and this is the truth, if you look at their baby pictures, every one of them has a beautiful, fluffy, crocheted, whatever, hat on, and I don't even have a hat on mine. I don't.
What was
I
wrong with?
don't have a hat.
Get that one
Not
hat.
even
Somebody
a
get that one,
hand-
get a hat.
Not even a hand-me-down hat. I got all of their hand-me-down clothes. So now I have a hat. But I was born anyway. I was born on January 30th, 1933. And I had to put up with all of that, but I can remember, we lived on Alexander Street until I was in the first grade. We moved after I was in the first grade, but before that, we did have a boy. They said that, and his name was William Clark, and I cannot tell you what birthday he was. It's in the Bible, but I don't know. But he didn't live at all. He was very.
William Clark.
He was still
William
born.
Clark. That's his name.
He was born 2 years, or 33, he must have been 35. Jerry was born 36. So there was,
Yeah, it wasn't, he
oh,
wasn't
he
breathing,
didn't live at all, okay.
he wasn't breathing good at all. The doctor came back and used his
On the
little
pillow,
arm.
laid him on the pillow,
Yeah.
tried to revive him, but he couldn't.
What happened to Lewis?
Louis lived till he was 18 months old and died of spinal meningitis.
And how old
It was an epidemic, just
Two.
like,
He was two?
He was two,
18
and my mama said the only way she got through that was she was pregnant with me.
He was about 18 months.
yeah,
So he was first, really.
He was the first.
He would have been
child.
first.
I
Okay.
thought she just had one.
Okay, so after,
Okay, then Jerry was born, and you would have thought heaven had come down for a boy.
The sky went on.
Because they had wanted a boy 4 more times before that. And when he was only not quite 2 years old, Linda was not even born yet, but Linda was Yes, Linda was stillborn on Alexander Street, but mother got to go to the hospital for her.
Yes, the first.
Never went to the hospital to have a baby until Linda came. And Linda came and she was dark-headed.
Oops.
And we all had blonde hair, except Peggy's was lighter red, but it was light. But Daddy took us to the hospital to see. You look in on the windows of the babies. You could go and took all of us up there to look in the windows, see all these babies. So he just picked out one, and it was Linda. And it didn't make. They told me we went up there to the baby, he picked her out. I swear that's the truth. So anyway, when she got to be just in a stroller, just a baby, Peggy decided she was gonna take her for a stroll down Alexander Street. Jerry followed her, he was 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lynn was bouncing in the stroller, one of them big old metal ones, you know how they are.
Oh, yeah.
Big old metal with funny wheels. So, cause she had that boyfriend, they lived over on the other side of the creek, it was behind our house.
Who had a boyfriend?
Peggy.
Peg.
But her excuse to go flirt with him was to take Linda for a walk. And Jerry followed her.
Uh-oh.
So she goes down to this block and turns right and goes back a block. And she goes over that bridge, the old wooden bridge. Francis Tucker went with her. She was probably,
Oh, Lord,
first.
Dove.
his name is Sellers. Excuse me, I got the wrong.
Okay,
Oops.
Davy Sellers was the next boyfriend's sweetheart, wasn't
But
it? I never
Sellers
go
was
with them
The
about.
one that lived over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dub Howell lived on Belmont Avenue.
Who lived over there and when Jerry fell in, and Jerry's wiggling around everywhere and he crawled up on the bridge post. It was 2. It was a rail down here and a rail up there. He crawled up on like boys do.
Yeah.
She made him get down, he got back down and fell through the other side.
Oh.
Split his head wide open,
Yeah, his skull.
just like a
Turned
orange. She
backward.
peeled it back all the way back, like scared Peggy to death.
Fell in the creek.
In the creek, yeah.
In the, on
He
rocks.
hit a rock and
And there was a
she
man,
on and down to get him, and there was a man over there in the field plowing or something right across.
in the garden.
Yeah.
And he came over there and got him.
And
He-
she
yeah,
picked
and
him
his
up,
wife
held
held
him and held his head up together.
Yeah, they held him together with the pillowcase.
And they took her to the hospital. Francis took her with Linda. That stroller come running up the street screaming.
Oh,
Thank goodness Francis Tucker was with her to bring Linda home. That's how they found out about her.
Dot Fowler, actually.
So
Oh,
what
is
did they
it not
do
French?
with
Dot
Jerry?
Fowler.
You should see, I didn't even, I first time I ever heard that.
That's okay.
Yes.
So Peggy, okay.
So
Francis Tucker,
What
Francis
happened
Tucker.
after you got home? Did you go to the hospital?
She
Oh,
went to the
Lord,
hospital
yeah,
with people.
we all went to the hospital,
and that
They
one brought
went.
Linda back.
Yeah.
and they kept him, and they,
That's to the 56
sewed up
stitches.
his head, cleaned him
It was
up.
a horseshoe. It was
And
a
then-
horseshoe on his back.
Yeah, he still has a scar across the top of his head, that one.
He had to wear a little skull cap for a long
How
time.
old was
When
he?
he, Jerry was
He
10.
How old were you, Peggy?
How were you?
Peggy, how old were you?
She's 10 years older than Jerry.
Well, then
So,
she-
so
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
14?
And you were 12.
She was 10.
12,
years
yeah.
old. She was 12.
She was 12.
And you were going to see a boy at 12?
No, not really, that's
Well,
why.
how old would you have been then?
I don't know, now.
Linda was
She's 10
born.
years older.
If she's 10
If
years
she's 10
older
years older
than
than
Jerry,
Jerry and he was
was
2,
two, then she was
then she's
12.
Well, maybe he was older than 2, because Linda was
I think he was old too.
He would have to
Mama
be
would
to
never
sure
do
go
that.
between a bridge or fall in the creek.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
they
it
want
was
all
a-
these
it was a-
safety standards.
It's a
Well,
hand bridge.
Come on now.
Honey,
He was walking around in that, but listen,
my crib.
he went,
Yeah.
they was taking him back and forth to the doctor, he had to wear that little skull cap all the time.
Think about stuff
And
like
that's
that.
why he hadn't gotten his sense, he lost it in the creek. I always had an excuse, well, I had a,
And the doctors called him Fussy Bucket and Sissy Riches or something.
fuzzy bucket, I think. But Mama had him in the doctor's office one day, he had that little white cap on. And a man came in and sat down over there with a white cap on. She said, he jumped around over there and said, Mister, did you fall in that creek? We don't know how old that was, that don't matter,
No,
all we
I
know,
don't
she
really.
might have
He
been
was more than
16
two.
and he might have been
He was
12,
born
but I
too.
think he was more like 2.
Okay, so-
Not three, maybe
This
four.
story, just pat him on the head sometime. You'll feel that
He'll let you,
scar
yeah.
up there all the way across.
Okay.
So, all right.
And
And that's
then
what's
here
wrong
was
with Jerry.
Linda.
And that's what's wrong with
That's
Jerry.
what's wrong with Jerry.
And we, went to first ward. Of course, Peggy was already going to school, Joyce and Sue probably then by that time.
Walking,
Cause
we walked to school.
whenever I got 6, I got to go to first ward school.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, that year, whatever year that was, we moved to Allen Street, 1612 Allen Street. Up Belmont Avenue and up Allen Street. And I remember walking it, I remember, see if you remember this. I remember walking from Alexander Street up to go to First Ward. But when we moved to Allen, we had to come down from there and come up Davidson Street, all the way up to Allen Street and line all the way up, walk all the way up there.
The first
Didn't have
How
to do
long?
that.
How long do you have to do that? Walk from Allen Street to,
It was over at First Ward 1 year.
1 year.
I went to
Okay.
Bill Heights from then on up to
Okay.
the 6th.
Bill Heights.
That's right,
So
so
where'd
then
you
you
go?
went to Villa Heights.
That's where I went to school, where'd you go?
I went to
Well, I went to
Piedmont.
First
Piedmont.
Ward, not after first.
I went to Piedmont for 3 years, 7, 8, and 9. But a couple of those was from Allen Street. One
Yeah.
1 or 2 years was from Alexander. Up Belmont Avenue, down Siegel Avenue, through the woods, into the back of Tech High School. Not at Tech, Piedmont Junior High School. And, Lord of mercy. Memories.
But I don't remember that because I was too little, I was in the first grade, I know where she was going.
Okay, so then after Jerry, who was born?
Linda, we said it.
You said Linda.
And then, of course, we lived on Allen Street. Well, by that time, now this is another funny part. The time we moved over there, here she was in high school flirting with Henry Sherrill.
Oh, you're a big flirt.
Henry Sherrill.
Oh, not till I went to Tech.
Well, after
That's high
Piedmont,
school.
I'd gone to Piedmont. You
Yeah.
weren't living on Allen Street. You said
Uh-huh.
you lived in Alexander going to Piedmont. See, I don't remember that part because I wasn't even
Uh-huh.
old enough to be.
So Peggy, tell us about Henry Sherrill, when you met him, and tell us about him.
Okay, the first time I ever saw Henry Sherrill, they was having a bonfire because we had a ball game coming up, and they had a big bonfire out there in front of Tech High School, and I went with a neighbor, and I don't remember which neighbor because I had neighbors across the street and up the street and everything else. and it got chilly after the bonfire, and it was chilly, and I had come down there without a coat, and so Henry Sherrill put his American Legion jacket across my shoulders to keep me warm, and
That's all.
walked me home.
Oh, that was
He
it.
sure did, yeah, and under that jacket was satin, shiny, with all these big letters, American Legion, such and such. They had a baseball team, and he played on it.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
so, boy, I got to wear Henry
You were-
Sherrill's
Did he kiss you?
American
Did he?
Legion
Hey,
jacket.
kiss you? Did he kiss you when he walked you home?
No,
the first day.
no,
Not on first day.
no.
Not even on day.
That wasn't a day.
They just-
No,
That was
no,
on the
he just
bonfire.
walked me home.
With
from
about
the
50
bonfire.
of the other colored kids.
And you were in what grade?
It was my first year at Tech,
Tenth.
and it must have been the
10th grade.
10th grade.
She
because I
went
went
10
to
and
10th
11.
and 11th there.
Okay.
Made my grade to the 12th and didn't go back. And from there on, I don't remember what her second date was or anything, but Saturday night was my night to polish shoes. So everybody brings their
To polish.
shoes to
For
the
Sunday
to
morning.
the living room, and I had to polish everybody's shoes to go to church.
Yeah.
That's right.
Every,
I
yes.
never heard that story.
Okay.
Now, I've heard that, so
Nancy,
tell it.
Joyce, Sue, Nancy, Jerry, Linda
Linda.
probably didn't have shoes.
And daddy's and mom's.
And Mama didn't have shoes. I had to
What
polish.
about shoes?
Was
Uh,
this every Saturday or y'all traded off?
Huh?
Jinx wasn't.
No, no, no.
Okay.
She ain't that because that
Okay,
comes along.
But was that trading off, you did it every Saturday, or y'all
No,
had to
no,
trade
no, we
off?
rotated.
We had to
That
turn
just
it
happened
out.
to be her
Yeah.
night.
It was her.
Well, honey, let me
Sunday
tell
on
you.
Saturday night you polish shoes.
Back then, we ironed everything that was washed. I mean, we ironed pillowcases and towels.
I don't know about
The
those
towels.
guys.
Yes, ma'am, we ironed towels too and stacked them up pretty. And,
Handkerchiefs.
well, that was Central, that was, Allen Street.
I remember
Yeah.
Grandma having a mango.
And, oh, remember the day that Mama,
What's a mango?
well, listen, y'all, Daddy had bought a Hupmobile, and you turned the doorknob up here and the door swung out like that.
Mhm.
One day, Mama had been to the grocery store or somewhere, and she come in and opened that door and drove right into the garage with the car door right open.
We ain't even
Oh,
thought
okay,
about
okay,
that.
that's Central. Get back to when you said something about doing your shoes. Was
She's on
that
Saturday.
something about was there supposed to be a date involved in that?
Well, if I had one of them chores, I didn't have no date. I wouldn't even go on a date if I had all that stuff to do. And we had different, it rotated ironing or taking clothes in off somebody washed. Joyce, what
Well, I mean, it
Well,
depended.
everybody did, I
You didn't
guess.
have the same thing every
No,
year.
Joyce washed and
But we
hung
had
them out.
clean up the stuff. We did have chores. We did rotate.
Well, what about,
And you didn't have to polish every Saturday.
Wow. how long was it before Jinx was born?
Well, we had
Oh.
we went to Central Avenue.
Was he born at
We're
Central?
still on Hampton Street.
Okay, so I didn't realize she was already dating, Red
Red Cheryl.
Cheryl before Jinx was born.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wait a minute, wait, that's the interesting. You'll get that connection in a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so after,
She was married.
Was
She
he?
knew this talk.
Whoa. Okay, so 26, born in 26, 36, you were 10 years old.
46 would have been 20.
yeah,
We have
so
46.
let me tell y'all something, there was a war going on, and y'all don't realize it.
That's what I was
There
trying to
was a
figure
war
out that
going
today.
on, and the policemen would would walk at nighttime. It was, everything was dark, no lights anywhere. We thought the Japs were gonna come over here and bomb us. And it was a
Blackout.
terrible time. And I want you to know, street cars, tracks come up, everything metal went to war,
Right.
to making whatever, everything. And fences around houses and metal anywhere went to be made.
War effort.
And we were at war, and our boys were getting killed, and Red Cheryl was begging me to marry him because he was gonna go off and he might not come back. That's what he said.
So did you?
Yeah.
And how long did you date him? I mean, or was with
Let's see, I dated him probably, that was the 10th grade and 11th grade,
Oh,
for
okay.
2 years.
Okay.
2 years, and, we slipped on Martha Wright and, Ray Hams.
Right
And
now.
y'all, Ray Hams, and his brother, Guy Hams, was a preacher.
You might really be a cousin, Carol.
You could be related.
She might be legitimate.
That could be why you were with us.
Listen, Guy Hams was a preacher.
Yeah.
It's his brother.
How did Raham spell his name? Do you know, was it
H-E-L-M-S.
W-R-A-Y or was it just R-A?
R-A-Y.
Okay, all right, you're good. I'm
Okay.
not in here yet.
Okay.
I mean, I was thinking that was Terry's daddy.
Yeah, no, that was long, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
And, okay, so Ray lived down Louis Avenue, the last house before the railroad tracks and the cookie factory. You know, you could always smell
Jack's
the cookies
Cookie Company.
Jack's
up on
cookies.
Central Avenue where we lived. And so Martha and Ray, took me and Rich to get married in
Fort Mill.
Fort Mill, I think.
Rock Hill.
Rock Hill or Fort Mill. Sandy's got the certificate. She'd have to look at it. What was it?
I thought it was York.
Rocky.
It was York.
No.
York, South Carolina.
Did y'all do York back in the?
It was
Okay, so moving right along, and so you went and got married.
So it took us to get married, and so, they were our best friends in high school. And I guess, Red had asked him would he take us to get married. Yeah, so he took us, okay, but when we got home, he went his way and I went mine.
And nobody knew?
Nobody knew.
No, and let me tell you, in how many months, I went to the doctor because I was so sick, and the Dr. Gallant told me I was pregnant, and I didn't even know it. And so Dr. Gallant said, "You go home and tell your parents." So I told him, okay, I would, but I didn't.
That now Red was gone to war at this point.
Yeah, he didn't even stop, honey. He went straight through training and right on the ship and gone.
Okay.
In fact, when I was in the hospital delivering her, the stamp, I peeled the stamp off and it said Panama Canal. He was going through the Panama Canal when I was in the hospital having.
Okay, so back up though about Dr. Gallup and Papaw Thomas.
Okay, so, Daddy went to Dr. Gallup for his physical, Daddy was a fireman, he had to go every year, I reckon. And, Daddy questioned him about Peggy's been sick and she's been over here and I don't know what they said to each other. And, Dr. Gallant says that she hadn't told you and Daddy said, told me what? And so Dr. Gallant told Daddy. Well,
No
Dad-
HIPAA laws in those days.
HIPAA came after this.
Daddy came home and told Mama, And I was at the Cheryl's, this is them, which was just a block or two out the back door. And that's where I was, so Daddy called me and asked me to come home. So, well, I knew all the way home what had happened. In my heart, I knew. So I told him, and I said, but I'm married. Well, where's your marriage certificate?
That's what-
Yes.
Sorry, I wanna ask a question. How long were you married, you and Ray married, before he had to
That was it.
She
That
went
was
to
it. Honey, he was already signed up,
You did.
ready to leave. It was in 43.
But you did go to Norfolk and spend one weekend with him. didn't
Oh,
you?
yeah, I did.
Okay, and
While
then
he
he
was
was
in
shipped
training,
out.
I went to
Her
Norfolk.
husband's name is
But I mean, I was already pregnant.
Is that?
Yeah,
Is
and,
that-
and Red, that, it was
Red,
another.
okay.
Red.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And,
So you told him.
So you're
I'm
explaining
married.
Daddy,
Said
I'm married.
You said I'm married.
Yeah, I
You
said, well,
where's
Daddy says, where's your marriage license? I said, boy, this Ray Helms got it. It's his. We told him to keep it safe for us. So Daddy says, okay, come on, we're gonna go get your marriage license. So we just lived on Hawthorne Lane, up a couple blocks to Louise Avenue, down Louise Avenue, to the foot of the hill, and went in and told her, Miss Helms, we got married and Ray kept our marriage license, and we got to find it, it's in his room.
I was he in war?
Yeah.
And he gone to
No,
war?
no, no, he was out
He was
there.
out at the beach. He went to the beach.
He was gone to the beach. Well, she didn't know nothing about it, but Ray was at the beach. Well, let's go to Martha's house. So we went up Belmont, to Martha Wright's house. She was gone to
And
the
guess
beach.
what? She's at the beach too.
Yeah, it was the beach too. So we had to go back to Ray Ham's house, and I just went in and told her I had to find it. I said, I have to find it. So she let me go in with her, and we pulled drawers open and everything, and pulled one drawer out of a Chester drawer, and it was a billfold, a billfold box. It had been, in that drawer, and opened it up, and there was my marriage license. So I went out and handed it to Daddy. He never said a word.
You should have said to your daddy, no, 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 no.
No, my dad
Did
didn't
I live
never
on
say a word.
Allen Street before y'all moved to?
She did.
Yeah,
We
you were
not-
born on Allen
She
Street.
said, she's been saved since like,
Yeah.
she moved over to Chase.
So I was born at Mercy Hospital, I remember that.
Yeah, they were, that's where all those girls went, in the war, went to have their babies in the Mercy Hospital. And honey, it was nurses in there, full, habit, yeah. And they didn't give you no extra medicine
Right.
or anything.
Just had to
Yeah.
tough it up.
And Mom would sit a while, and Miss Cheryl would come in, and she was awful. No, she wasn't ugly to me, but she didn't want me to hurt.
Right.
She wanted to.
Yeah.
And so, Mama was the best one to sit
I'm sure.
with you. And
She'd had a few, she'd been to a few rodeos.
January 25th, 1945, 44. Yeah, you were 2 years older than Jinx, because he was born,
Not quite
No.
2 years older, no.
yeah, when was Jinx born?
I was born in
Me and Mama was
January
pregnant at the
44.
same time.
So he was born in December of 45. So it
That's
was
almost 2
It's
years.
2
Almost.
years.
I don't like it was 1 month.
Yeah.
See, from January 44
January
To December December of 45.
Uh-huh.
Be to
December of 40, see, 2 years.
Yeah,
Nancy and I figured that out a long time
yeah,
ago.
I didn't realize there was that much time between us.
But I knew he was a baby, and he couldn't
So he
sit
was a
alone,
boy
and he didn't ever walk until, later, and he already walked stiff-legged,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
Oh, they took him to Bowman Grade School Medicine in Winston-Salem, and everywhere to try to find out what was wrong with him.
Really?
And they finally told him that he had a brain damage, when he was born, or during birth, or something.
Yeah.
And, and where did I quit? I mean, I don't know
Well,
where.
So then Jinx came after Nancy.
Yeah,
Okay.
She was-
And that was while they were living on Central. They had moved to Central.
yeah,
at
we
that
had
point?
been to Central,
Okay.
but I don't know when we moved to Central. Do you know when we moved to Central?
Yes.
Yeah, you do get to speak
No,
down
no,
there.
she's about